This is RPMMO Radio.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
A podcast all about role-playing and MMORPGs.
I like what you got. Good job.
With your hosts, Ashen Phoenix, Sid, Jazz, Strafe, and Kishmas.
Everybody f***ed off. We need to go on a quick adventure.
Hello, role players. Welcome to RPMMO Radio, our episode 41. It's Flags on the Field. I did something else in the intro thing, and I just had to correct that in real time because that is just how great we are. Of course, with me, as always, is myself, Ashen Phoenix, and we have a full house tonight. Jazz, Kishmas, Sib, and, of course, Strafe.
Hi.
Hello.
How is everybody doing? It's good to have everybody here. Kishmas was
Yeah,
actually
full
able to
Full crew, all
burn
crew.
down his entire business and finally make it.
We decided not to talk about that, Ashton.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
What about the NDA?
He's like,
We-
all because they took his red stapler.
Oh.
Oh dear.
They took my stapler.
I'm seeing lots of red flags going flying right
Lot of red flags. It all starts with a red
Red
stapler.
stapler.
Staper.
Staper?
I'm a staper.
Rob
It's gonna be one
Schneider,
of
the
those shows.
stapler.
Rob Schneider and Dirty Birky. That's right. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We do this every Saturday at 7 Central Time over at twitch.tv/RPMMO Radio. And for our podcast listeners, you can join us there if you want to. If not, you can always, of course, download the podcast wherever you're currently listening to it, or iTunes, Android podcast apps, Spotify, the Pod of the Beans, and, just there's like 1,000 different things. I even got an email randomly from someplace I'd never heard of that's like, hey, your show's on our thing. Thanks for letting us put it on there. It's like, I don't know who you are, but I'm glad that it's there. Sure, cool, whatever. Take it. So, you can do that. We appreciate that. And of course, we have to give a special thanks to all of our Patreon donors, which you too can become one of at patreon.com/RPMMO Radio. Our two at the raid boss level, still in the lead, that guy Laza and Da Truth Bob.
Da Truth Bob.
We appreciate both of you guys and everybody else that supports the show. Because of that, we'll have some stuff coming up. Like I keep saying, episode after episode. I've promised it's eventually going to get done, but some of it is waiting on new equipment from some people, and other people we're just waiting because they're worth the wait.
Yes.
Which reminds me, I'm going to need to talk to Kishmas and Strafe after the show. We're gonna need to have a little talk in the back room. Just bring the just bring the show certified brown box with all your stuff in it when you come.
Mm-hmm. I'm out, bro. It's been nuts.
or I'll need like a picture of what it is we want Yunfei to
You've
draw for
already
us when we
got
finally get
them.
that. Oh, I know, I got it, but we need to have little details like what kind of microphone they want in front of them, what kind of
Oh, yeah.
headsets, little stuff like that. Cause she needs the deets because she is the awesome. And the more details, as we know, more details you give an artist, the happier they are because then they don't have to guess on everything and be pissed at you when you didn't tell them that after they spent hours on a thing. Just a good rule of thumb, if you ever commission something, do that.
Oof.
Especially because I know a lot of role players actually do commission artists to draw their characters. So never be afraid to give too many details. Also, be nice.
All the details.
All the details. All the dirty details. So, but we'll be getting that done and a couple other little things. But that one's waiting on computer stuff. Not on our half. What's his face? The Smiling Sorcerer. Sorry, Smiling. Totally just blanked on your name. I was looking at your icon and I couldn't think of the name. I just saw a little pumpkin with a wizard hat. But he's getting some new stuff. So that'll be really, really good for him. He's been asking details on computer things, and I've been like, I don't know. The expensive stuff is always good. which is not helpful. So yeah, we got that going for us, and let's see here. With that, I think I got over all the details. Let's see here, Patreon, where you can find the show. Oh yeah, we also have a new follower, which we want to thank on Twitch, which is Eros. Thank you for following us, and you too can, of course.
Thank you.
Follow us at twitch.tv/RPMember. Just hit the subscribe button if you got, that's a like $4.99 thing. If you got an Amazon thing, or follow, which is what I actually meant to subscribe because subscribe and follow are such weird things that they're two separate, totally things, and it's really, really, really confusing to say on the fly, apparently. So yeah.
Silence.
This is always good for radio. Just dead air. Like if we were a real radio station, there'd be bells and whistles going off after so many seconds. Like,
I'm sorry, did you say something?
dead
I
air.
missed it. Sorry, I was like, yeah. What's up?
Yeah, keep it up.
I'm just trolling. What's
So
going
what
on?
have we been
man?
doing in role play? Let's see here. Let me consult the magic 8-ball of and Jazz. Look at that, Jazz. It says you will tell us what you have been doing in role play this week. Wow, this is a really big 8-ball.
Go, Jazz, go.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Last week we
No
did,
pressure. Hurry up.
Last week on Sunday we had a nice time at the tea house on my Sully character, and we're still kind of hammering out the details with Delatorre and Typhon and that whole thing on the sidelines through Talvani RP, which was this Friday as well. We're still kind of bucking and changing and adapting to the constraints that were placed on Delatorre. So it's been very interesting, and that's been a lot of fun. We have a storyline that is developing with Strayface characters and mine, and I did a little kind of private writing and some rolling about some of the stuff that's going on in the background, so that was cool. Plus, my character that's pregnant has been adapting to this and not doing very well, getting very grumpy already, so that was kind of fun. On Tuesday we had the poetry reading, and I got to play my super duper sweet, young, naive girl, which was a lot of fun. And I interacted with Sib's character and Strayface character. Let's see. Thursday was Guild RP, and it went long into the night. Longer than it should have. I was very, very tired Friday morning.
Shame.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. And then today I've just kind of been fishing and working on getting stuff into the market so that I can make some money. So that's it.
I guess that's acceptable.
You think so? Good to know.
You forgot the part where I got to beat you up.
Oh, right. That was Sunday, too. Was that Sunday? That was Sunday, wasn't it?
That was Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I went and,
I got to
that's
beat
right.
you
I went at the end of the tea house thing. We went and sparred, and I got to spar with Ashen's character in
'Cause
their
She likes
temple
great swords.
place.
Yeah. And you
yeah.
have a great sword.
So, yes. So it was a lot of fun. And I haven't RP dueled in quite a while other than with Cial. And
It showed.
She usually loses, so I don't usually worry about it.
Yeah.
So this was
it was
nice.
all in fun. They both got a
Yeah.
lot of good licks in too.
Yeah, and we, as usual, we don't roll like I have to with strangers usually.
Yeah.
So we just decided we just kind of winged it, and it turned out nice. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, just who could out type the other one at one turn
Yep.
after the other, basically. Yeah.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and hit Kishmis right smack in the face, because we miss having you here for these, and because your stupid job of saving the city constantly, which is just what I assume you do when you're not here.
That's what I assume too, but
He is Batman, just saying.
not really. I mean, if you want me to go into all the details in RP, I could write a book for you, but
Kishmis, why did you say that name? Why? Why did you
What,
say his
book?
name? No.
Book.
It's a Batman reference. Why did you
Oh.
say that name?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
You wouldn't get it because you didn't watch
No.
the shitty version of that movie, Batman vs.
Sorry.
Superman.
Nope.
no.
What? Oh, man.
Sorry.
You're
DC's
good.
too dark for me, man. But anyway.
So dark. Are you not sure you're not part of the DC universe?
Exactly.
Deadpool. Gotta love it.
Yep.
All right, Kishmas, what's up?
Oh, let's see. Tea House was fun. Regier had his little posse in the corner talking about shit. Then we went through the Spars with Jazz's character. That was fun.
What's
So,
fun?
So Joris
Spar.
was there too on his
Chick.
Dark
right. Hellrin, right?
Kelrin, yeah.
That was fun. Monday's training was pretty interesting. The war games. I guess that concept was passed on from me to other people, but I could never really flesh the war games scenarios out because it was too grand for me to do by myself. But oh god, I forget some of the events we had this week. Shit.
I know. That's why I always need to write them down too, and how I'm
Right.
because I didn't go to all of them.
Wednesday
So-
event. Alms well, ends well. That was an
Oh,
event
that
where
was
we
the
went to
tunic
go.
thingy, yeah,
The tunic, yeah. Ulm of Saint.
where somebody got
Ulm,
blowed
oh
up
my
real
God.
good.
The tunic of Saint
Mhm.
Ulms. It was an interesting event. Very good concept. I like the concept. It was pretty strong in the beginning, but it started to kind of cascade a little bit.
Yeah, you tell him, little guy.
Yeah.
Somebody's
Okay.
an uncle. It's for a change.
Yes.
Screaming kids in the background isn't jazz.
I know, right?
Yeah, but this one's like the size of a bean.
Yeah, he gets a pass though. He gets a pass
He does.
because he's too cute to be otherwise.
Honestly, it's been quiet for me since I've been
Well,
kind
yeah,
of busy.
because now you got something to do though, so that's why they're
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they can sense that like this is the time I should start. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna be part of the podcast.
that's right.
yeah.
We'll call him.
And we're
we'll call
okay
him,
with
We'll
it.
call him what? Would you say? We'll call him Little Bean.
Little bean.
Little Bean. So yeah, but yeah, that was It started out strong, and then I think sometimes when you do an event that lasts for hours like that, I think you can really start to flag, and then of course everybody starts to flag, like get a little tired or worn out, just concentrating so long, especially when you're running the thing.
Yeah, I found that most people's limit is about 2 hours.
It is if it goes.
If you're going to go longer than that, split it up into two things.
Mm-hmm.
It really hurt my brain. It really tested my patience.
Wait.
You have patience?
Wait. You have a brain?
Oh.
Uh,
Ow!
Wow. High five.
I am Ashen's wife. I'm sorry.
Revenge of the City.
She's picked up a lot of my bad traits, and I
I
couldn't
have.
be happier.
You know, I love you, Kish, right?
I don't know if he
Are we-
does. He's got no brain.
Are we
in
not
there,
friends
apparently.
now? Oh.
who's talking to me?
Oh.
You're dead to me. You're dead.
Sad panda.
Oh, how could you be mad at that, Kishmas? Tell me, it's very easy. I can actually give you hints. But you have anything else going, man?
Not really. It's been quiet for me this week,
Yeah.
which is a nice change.
Yeah. I know we had a brief exchange. We both nodded at each other once.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It was a good nod.
It was a good. I felt like our characters had a real connection there for a moment, and then she went and got kebabs. And that was the end of it.
Kaboobs.
Yes, she does have those too. So, all right. Well, I guess. How about you, Strafe? What you got?
We did the poetry night. It was pretty fun. I'm playing the twin, so I did little things that are a little different, and it was quite fun watching people kind of react to some of those little small changes. And I think the best thing tonight was Jail had been rooting around his brother's stuff, and he found this poem that he wrote for Voli, and so he pulled it up there and read it rather. And then at the end of it, he just handed her the note like, here you go. This is for you. And so Traff will get back and have no idea that his secret poem got out. And he kind of was forward, but he wasn't too forward, which is pretty much, he's just being a brat. It was a good night. Nothing other than that. I had a pretty rough week. Still trying to recover from the funk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had it pretty bad. So, all right, Sib, what have you got?
Uh,
Well, that was boring. All right, moving on to somebody more entertaining.
Let's see. I have had, we did tea house and then sparring, which my character, for some reason, keeps ending up in the infirmary.
Yeah, she got stabbed, didn't she?
No fault of my own, or Knife's own, I should say. Yeah, she got stabbed through the leg. It's like she realized what was going to happen. The character I was sparring, he kind of went berserk, and she had shot an arrow, and it glanced it off his visage. And when she did that, apparently he kind of flipped out, and he was going to stab her through the shoulder. That's what he was aiming for. Well, whenever he went to do that, he yelled, and my character kind of was like, oh crap, I gotta move. And he ended up getting her right through the leg. And so she, of course, Tarv, being the big girl she is, carried my character down to the infirmary and
Romantic.
Beefy.
got her all fixed up. And so then, Monday night, did the war game kind of thing, which was a lot of fun. I didn't really have a big part in that. I just kind of was along for the ride. Then Tuesday, did the poetry night, which was a lot of fun. My character actually got up and did a poem, which Vuli is an orc. She is very unladylike. She actually had a dress on, like a lightweight kind of dress, kind of rugged looking, and she kept pulling at it, thinking, it doesn't fit right, like her armor. So that was fun, and she got to meet Strafe's evil character, which she thought was weird because he kept doing little touches on her arm or her hand or something, and she's like, okay, what is up with you, because you never touch me, never. And so it was kind of fun, getting to kind of go into that. Let's see, Wednesday, I don't remember what happened Wednesday. And if I RP'd with you, I'm sorry, I forgot. Thursday, I don't remember what happened Thursday either.
I don't think you were in game, were you?
What night did I get blown up?
That was Wednesday.
Was that okay? Wednesday, my character got blowed up and got put back in the infirmary. Technically, her armor got melted, and she ended up. One of the clergy ended up taking her back to the abbey and had to magically peel her out of her armor. Then Thursday night, I was in game, but I don't know what I was doing. Probably RPing and probably completely forgot. I'm so bad at this. It's hard to keep up because I've got a lot of RP going on right now.
Yeah,
so it's hard to keep
it all
up.
Straight. No, I don't think. I think that might have been because that night I was out talking to Jazz.
I know what I was doing. I was decorating. I got.
Oh yeah, you
Oh my gosh,
that was it.
I started decorating a house for my main character, Knife, the dark elf. And that pretty much, I was OCD. It was gone by 10 o'clock. I was still trucking along, and then Ashen's like, "Come on, it's time for bed," and I'm like, "What?" So I did that.
Want to.
One more minute.
Exactly. It was awful.
Just a
it was
few more
just absolutely. But I did get the house done, and I am absolutely in love with it. I'll have to have everybody over for tea or something.
And by everybody, she means only her and 5 other people.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like the little house. It's not, and that's what I wanted was something to be like her room in the barracks, you know,
Yeah.
something small. But I actually, the character, my main character is involved with, Tervis. He actually was able. He's upside down, is what we say. He's in Australia, and I don't get to RP with him a lot. So he actually was in game last night, and we got to RP a lot. And he came over and RP'd with her, and she told him everything that's how many times she's been in the infirmary, and it was a lot of fun. I had a blast,
Been
and
blowed up.
yeah, their little thing is kind of evolving, and it's been kind of nice.
Yeah.
Just he's very, very casual and easygoing, so I have a lot of fun RPing with him.
Yeah.
And ta-da! I'm done.
Indeed. And that little chime you hear, that's you guys don't hear it, but everybody else on the podcast of the trip. I appreciate Wakachoto. He's throwing little bits our way, and with a funny little emoticon thingy.
Wakachoto?
Wakachoto.
Wacky Show.
Wakachoto.
Wakachoto. So let's see. I beat the crap out of Jazz. It was a spanking on both ends, but one spanked a little harder. That was fun. No, wrong spanking. Dubious.
That clap will never go away.
Nothing wrong with that.
I love you guys.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Jazz. I'm so sorry.
Look,
You've killed Jazz. Look what you
killed
did.
her again.
I love you,
It's
Jazz.
just so easy.
I love you too. Oh my god.
But
That is
yeah,
such a wrong sound. You need to like make a little snippet of that so you could just like push the button and make that sound and knock everybody out. That's fantastic.
Most faint sexual joke and it just plays that.
Here we go. What is wrong with my clap?
you do not have a loud clap. It's very muffled. I think by your hands. You've got, I don't know, you got meaty hands or something. I don't know what's going on over there, but
The dubiousness continues
They're-
with each.
they're
Use
fin-
your sexy voice in that clap and
their
you
Oh,
fingers
Lord.
not kill bosses. So,
No.
Sorry.
you're all right. Let's see here. What was the training thing on Monday? I already forgot what you said.
It was the war games.
The war
War
games.
games, yeah.
Ashlander.
Yeah,
war
that
games.
was Tarvala got to take kind of be thrown in charge of that as like lead, I guess. Kind of that was fun. I mean, it went well. Went a little long, again, but to the point where I think even at the end the DM was like, "All right, everybody, free emote. Let's get this thing over with."
Any Matthew Broderick at your war games there, bro?
That's right. The only way to win was actually it was to just kill everybody, even the women and the children.
Oh,
Lord.
Lord.
Thank you again, Wakachoto. But yeah, that was probably I got to sit down on Friday night, and before Tervis had come over, Tarvala and Sib's character Nith. How do you say that? Nithid? Nithid?
Nice.
Nithed.
Nice.
Got to chat a
Nice.
little bit and just sit down and talk since she was all achy, and they talked about how getting blown up by clergy made them not exactly want to trust having a clergy person at their back if they were going to spark up their arms in the middle of a gas-filled room, because that gets people blowed up good. It was a very redneck ending to that. It's like, hey, hold my beer. Zzz. But yeah, that was. I mean, it was kind of a light week for me. I've been playing a little bit of that God of War. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, my
boy.
husband's playing that too.
It's
With
just
the boy.
it's basically just watching a dad who's a badass be completely and utterly disappointed in everything his son does at all times.
That's sad.
It's like my dad's come back from the dead. It just really touches me. Boy.
Oh
And
my
actually, one of the reasons
God.
I have a special reason for liking it. Sib and I have actually met the voice actor. It's Christopher Judge, who you Stargate people will know him from Stargate SG-1 as Teal'c, the Jaffa.
Oh, I love him.
Yes, and we've got his autograph. We got to meet him, and he's just he was like just a really cool guy. Also, extremely massive.
The Spock from SG-1.
He was. But that voice of his, man, who's,
he has an amazing voice.
Oh, yeah. And he's
he does.
And when he takes it to that register in God of War, he's just, everything just sounds so severe. He's like, those people need our help. Not our problem, boy. But they need us. Not our problem. Yeah, it's just like, you're awesome. I wish I didn't care about anybody around me. Wait a minute. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of what it's also been occupying my time. I don't strictly do just roleplay and MMOs. I know a lot of people do, and that's cool. But I've always grown up first and foremost as just like a console gamer. So I do love playing my console games. I like playing single player games and story driven crap too. So when I'm not making up our own story driven crap. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Story-driven crap.
Story-driven crap. So, all right. Well, we got a ton to get to tonight. So, we'll go ahead and do the word from our sponsor, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of red flags and green flags on both role players and in character and out of character. So, without further ado, this portion of RPM Radio is brought to you by RoleplayBot 5000. Follow the link after the sample to pre-order. Welcome! I'll be your RoleplayBot 5000 announcer, Dick Winkleman, here to give you a play-by-play of a scene role-playing out right before us. Let's see, it looks as though a real-life living female that plays an in-game real-life female is striping up a conversation with another female, but unknown to her, this female is played by a dude. Oh, let's see how this goes. And not just any dude, but one with a highly over-opinionated view of himself and is a self-proclaimed slayer of bitches. Let's see, and, yeah, after a simple interaction of greeting, he's already laying out the, "You're the most beautiful woman in the tavern." Oof, man, it's a pro move on her part, though, in her rebuttal, just accepting the compliment. And he's already sent her a tell saying how incredibly sexy and hot her character is. Oh, they haven't even exchanged names yet. Oh my, that is a rookie move, and you really hate to see it happen so early on in a conversation. Let's see. If yes, there she goes. She's already telling her guild that the weirdo she just ran into has already hit on her twice, both in character and out of character. Quote, "The only thing that make this worse would be if he was a vampire or a Oh, no. Another tell. He just beat her to it. Ah, sweet Aunt Jemima, he is the worst. He's not just a vampire or a werewolf. He is, in fact, you guessed it, part dragon. Already several flags on the field. It only took 5 minutes to reveal it as well, something that probably should be kept under wraps. She's reaching her close button and the old, oh no, she lost her connection, quote unquote, crash and burn. Oh, the humanity of it all. Well, that concludes our demo of this program. Order the RoleplayBot 5000 in the link below. And remember, you can listen to me, Dink Winkleman, narrate all your roleplay streams. Seems like after a while, it'd probably get you in a lot of trouble.
I do hate purple Wookiees, just saying.
All right, purple Wookiees. Purple Wookiee
They
dragons.
hate you too.
Purple Wookiee dragons, vampires, everything. Yeah.
I hate all the Wookiees from the holiday special, so.
And that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it was
What
pretty
about
bad.
what about the were spiders, Jaffe?
Weregoats.
There's no such thing as a were-spider.
Are you sure? You can give
Pretty
anything
sure.
the lichen device. Wait,
No.
disease device.
Device.
Are you kidding? There's somebody that's probably come up with like some sort of
I'm sure
lichen
there's somebody
device.
that has, yeah.
I mean,
The only
if it's
excuse for that spidery
black
stuff
widow, at least I have a happy ending.
is when Jazz's tune, the ancient tunes of jazz bite you and they infect you with who knows what, and you turn into all kinds of strange things.
What was that?
She
noise?
didn't bite him. It was
No,
his
she just
own
fed.
fault.
She just fed him gobs and gobs of her blood.
Yes. To heal him and to help him not grow old.
See, that's the
She was-
official line. The real line
she
is
was
have an eternal
helping.
slave.
She was helping.
Always with the helping.
Always with the helping.
We do have one caller on the line, but before we get to her, and I use that pronoun accurately because I know the person, so take that, SJWs. Before we get into the red flag, green flag list, I want to give a quick stop talking in my announcer voice because that's not how I actually talk, for one. But
No, keep going.
it takes a lot of lung capacity, a lot more than I feel a little lightheaded.
All right, let's take over the show, guys.
Yay!
So I want to make it clear too that this is a list we've all kind of come up with and added to. It's not a universal list, of course, and just because you have or might have done any one of these doesn't mean you should like give up on role play and switch to fucking fantasy sports or something like that. It's not about you so much as it's about them. And you know who them is. It's anybody not you. That said, by the end of the list, you may have exhibited a few red flags. And if you exhibit all of them, you might want to reevaluate your interactions with the human race because you're the worst person possible.
Oh.
Or you could say that they just need to learn.
We have 17 of them. If we have
Get
six,
good.
we have 16 red flags on here. Not nearly as many green ones. If you hit all 16, you're bad.
Did you say
bad.
16 red flags?
Yeah, red flags.
Red flags?
Red flags.
Bread? I'd like some
Bread?
bread.
Yeah, I like my bread with Cool Whip.
He's saying red flags, isn't he?
Cool Whip.
Cool. Whip.
Yeah, and Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
And that said, like, there's been things on this list that I've done in like moments of being pissed off at somebody or in a shitty mood that I know I shouldn't do after the fact. We all have bad days, so this it happens, but if some people, man, they just, it's just one red flag after the other, kind of like, like saying the stuff that was in the roleplay bot 5000, it's a little rough. It can get a little rough. So before we get into our flags, I was talking to Yudfei, and I'm going to bring her down here. She actually had our red flags seemed somewhat, shall we say, minor. Oops, how did she? Where's she going?
Did she go back to the...
There she goes. They're somewhat minor compared to some of the stuff that she's had, so she was nice enough to call in, and it's Yutan too. If you go to rpmmradio.com/discord, if you're in our Discord channel, just go to the caller waiting room. If you want to share any red flags or green flags, we want to be positive too. Things that like, hey, this is going to be a solid person. Like, say, for example, Yudfei is, which is joining us now. How's it going, Yudfei?
Hey, nice to finally meet you guys.
You too. It's good to actually talk to you.
Welcome to the madhouse.
So, what have you got, Yudfei? What were some somewhat minor, shall we say, red flags that you've had come across in your experience role-playing?
One of them, I don't remember if it was the original EQ or EQ2. There was a guy in our guild that was super overly in character. Like, if you said OOC, like, AFK for a minute, I need to use the bathroom, he would respond in character with, what is this AFK?
Oh, yes.
That
we
is
always bump into those
definitely a
people.
red flag.
Yeah.
But this is the same guy I think I told you about yesterday that just flipped his burgers when he found out that I was a real-life girl playing a male character.
Oh.
Yeah, and not in the way you would think either, right? If I
Flip
remember...
his burgers. I dig that line.
Yeah, that is actually. This is why you made Yunfei adorable, because apparently you are. Flipped his burgers. Sorry. Pardon me. Yeah, so, usually when somebody finds out, like, oh, I'm actually played by a girl, they're like, cool. What did this guy do?
So sweet.
Yeah, no, he just went off the deep end, screamed at us. I think he mentioned Satan in there somewhere. I'm not entirely sure. And then he just left the guild and never spoke to anyone again.
Wow.
Wow. Is right.
He's supposed to be his bro.
But yeah, this is, come on, H.
Wow.
Sorry, if you guys don't get the reference, you need to read Ready Player One. That's messed up, but that wasn't the worst one, was it?
No. I narrowed my stories down to 4.
All right.
Wow, how many did you have?
I've been role playing since Ultima Online, so quite a few.
Nice.
Yeah, that was before EverQuest and 3D. That's an old one. And still going.
Yeah, surprisingly for now.
So, all right. So, what's the let's see, what's number 4 on your list?
Well, the other real short one was the surprise bondage lady that showed up one day in the guild hall and expected everyone to, get down to business.
Wow.
What?
I wish I could make this stuff up.
I'm failing to see where the red flag is on that one.
Surprise bondage lady. Gee.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we met her too. I swear.
I was gonna say that one sounds like slightly.
That sounds really familiar. I think we had a similar problem.
Theme. Maybe not the same person.
We definitely had that happen in Silver Circle, but do keep going. I want to hear this.
Jez is like, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
That was pretty much it. Like, this was in EverQuest 1, and a lot of the roleplay was done on our guild forum. And yeah, she just popped in and, like I said, expected the dirty and like no warning whatsoever. Just, hey, this is what we're doing now, and everybody was so confused.
Wow.
Who wants to be my stepping stool?
Yeah.
You have been a very naughty halfling. Oh my.
Ours was a Nord girl that did that. Essentially walked in and told Vaka that she was now hers, and she was like, I'm going to explain to you exactly how you're going to serve me.
What?
Yeah, Vaka was amused.
You mean like a sandwich? Like
Vaka was like, this is actually amusing. Please do.
It would be highly amusing. I have to say how long. I can only imagine Jazz knowing you how long you'd be like.
Oh, we drug it out for a good 35 minutes before I finally told her, look, dude, we're all laughing at you.
Yeah, this isn't going to work. All right.
I'm sorry. Yeah, keep going.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, the next one I have, we'll just call this gentleman Bob. I was a leader of a guild in EverQuest 1. Again, we're going back. And this guy, he was in our guild. He would group with us. Seemed like an okay guy. And he brought up one day that we could all get together and have a guild meeting and stuff like that. And I was with a guy at the time, and we were like, well, that seems like a neat idea. Maybe we'll think about doing that next summer or something. And after that, he disappeared for a week. Nobody knew what happened to him. And then he showed up at our doorstep with a car full of his stuff.
Are you kidding?
Wait, what?
I am not kidding.
How did he find you?
I don't even know.
That's terrifying. Okay.
It really is. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. He thought that by us saying, yeah, we'll have a get together next summer or something, that was just apparently an open invitation. So he drove from, I think he was coming from like Oregon or somewhere out west all the way to Maine.
Wow.
Wow.
We let him crash. we were going to send him. Sorry.
You are
much
such a better
nicer
person than I am.
me. I would have called 911. But you continue.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. Like I said, we let him
Sounds
crash.
like it's just going down.
This is like the guy that played the gnome character on Felicia Day's The Guild that just showed up and was like,
Yeah.
surprise! It's like, I think there's a gnome crashed on my couch. Yeah. That
So
shit happens, people. This is why we have this episode.
Yeah. Yep. And so we were going to send him on his way, but I don't know how this happened, but he ended up staying for like 2 months before we could finally get him out. And during this 2 months, he
Wait a
would
minute.
follow me to work.
Wait a minute. 2 months?
You are very too much nice.
Yes, we kept asking him to leave. He just was not going anywhere. So, and during this 2 months, he would follow me to work, and he would sit there and just stare. And then
What the fuck?
my boss went over to talk to him, and he started crying to my boss. And then, yeah, and he did the same thing. He cried to my family. And then
I'm afraid to ask about what.
And that's how she met Rahanar, her husband.
Oh.
I'm kidding. No, he's a good guy. Not like this weirdo. But it was too good of a joke to pass up. Sorry,
An
man.
ashen was found stuffed into an ashtray in an alley.
Yeah.
So back then, oh god, this is gonna age me. Raha was probably like still in junior high.
Oh.
Ouch.
Say your cougar noise, Jazz.
Cougar
There you go.
win. That's a cougar
Yes,
win,
please.
Unify. Holy smokes.
Yes, please.
All right, you
Her
keep
faction
going. We
went up
got to
in
hear
this
the
group,
end of
I'm
it.
just saying.
So eventually we had to get the police involved because he was not like he had set up roots on our couch, and we finally got him with the help of the authorities to leave. And then come to find out his parents had been looking for him because he had packed his little car and disappeared with zero notice at all. No one knew where he was.
Oh my gosh.
So he abandoned his family and didn't tell them and just left them to think he was like dead. Like literally, he's just dead in a ditch somewhere. I just know it.
Yep, exactly.
Wow, what a piece of shit.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
I would say more than likely it was more that he had some mental or emotional issues.
Yeah.
That's
Little
a
bit.
very good guess, yeah.
Yeah, they have places for people like that.
Not
your
anymore.
couch. Anywhere but your couch.
Yes. Yikes.
I mean, like, I'm not perfect. I have, my own issues. I think everyone does. So, like, I was
Yes,
trying to be nice and understanding, and it was just backfiring.
There's just limits. And
There's
but-
a limit.
Yeah.
I am the nicest person, I think, of the little group here, other than maybe Sib.
I was gonna say Sib's got you beat.
Hey,
That's
don't
up
be
for
trying to
debate.
steal my
I'm voting for Sib on
my
that
title.
one.
I will try to help someone beyond, but showing up at my doorstep and then not leaving would have been that's a deal killer right there, girl.
Yeah.
Damn.
2 months, your
Jazz.
kindness is being abused. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
Jazz, don't be mad.
Yes.
Don't be mad. I'm on the other side of the street, but don't be mad.
This was also back during the time, because, like I said, this was back in, like, the beginnings of EQ1. So this was back
the
during the
internet's
time when...
infancy too, yeah.
Right. Yeah, this was all new. Like, stuff like this just didn't happen.
Yeah, and if
Surprise!
it did, you
Surprise!
ended up on like, unsolved mysteries.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh man. Wow.
That's kind of crazy.
So see now, if she had this podcast, she could have gone over the red flags we'll have, and she would have realized very early on, this guy was probably going to murder her and everybody she knew.
Yeah, well, like I said when I told you this last night, I'm really lucky I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
I should also
For sure.
have prefaced all these stories with. I am on the autism spectrum, so sometimes I miss the flags.
Oh, it's like we were meant to like be siblings.
Faye, that's your cue to run. Run now. Just
Yeah. Sorry, Yunfei. So what you got? You said you had 2 more?
More? No, just one more.
Okay, one more.
This one, again, there was probably a flag. I probably missed it, but I was single at the time, and this is actually in more recent history, about 8 years ago. It was actually just before I met my husband. I was single, lonely, role-playing. You know the drill.
Oh yeah.
I think I knew
And-
I knew you by then too.
Yeah. You may remember this,
Yeah.
actually. So I had been role-playing with this guy for a few months, and when things got kind of hot and heated, I would always say, okay, let the characters do their thing, and why don't
Fade to
you
black.
play? Right. And while they're doing their thing, like, let's go, finish our epics or whatever.
Smart.
And he was cool with that. He seemed nice enough. And he said he wanted to come visit. And at the time I had a couple roommates, and my neighbors were, we were all pretty close. And so he lived like a state away. So he drove up to come visit. And it seemed to go okay. My friends met him, and, they were like, hi, nice to meet you. Don't hurt her or we'll kill you. The usual.
Oh yeah, the normal talk.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Like-
You heard my friend? You're gonna disappear.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
Well,
I've got a
had-
shovel and some lime and a tarp, and nobody will miss you.
Well, I had just had awful luck with dates in the past, so they had my back. So anyway, he comes to visit, and it was a relatively nice visit. He had brought a cell phone for me so that we could stay in contact, and I was like, okay, this is this is cool. And then he faked a call from his dad saying that his dad had a heart attack and that he needed to go home. And I said, oh my God, that's a few hours drive all by yourself. Do you want me to come with you? Because I didn't want, I'm not going to let somebody in trouble just go off alone like that. And he seemed kind of surprised that I would say that. And he's like, no, I'm fine. It's okay. I was like, okay, well, keep in contact. Call me when you get there and, let me know if things are okay. Because, that's the nice human thing to do. So he goes home. I don't hear anything. He still logs in, but not on the same character.
Mm-hmm.
And the next weekend, he called and broke up with me, which of course was heartbreaking because I was, starting to fall for him and stuff.
Yeah.
And then this is where the crazy stuff comes in. We were all in a guild together. He and I and one other guy sounds like a bad sitcom.
Yes.
Cue the porn music. But anyway, go ahead.
We were guild leaders together. We had been given this guild relatively recently, and we were trying to, rebuild it up and everything. Well, he convinced the other guild leader that I had gone crazy that weekend that he'd visited, and that I had started stalking him, and which, by the way, was like I wasn't even logging in at that point because I was sad. So, we'll call this gentleman Dick, by the way.
Perfect.
I like it.
I like that a lot.
Works for me.
I think the craziest thing that happened with that was I smashed the phone that he gave me. But whatever, it was like a cheap phone.
Right. Yeah.
So
It wasn't a Nokia because you wouldn't have been able to smash it, but it was a phone.
Oh, I don't remember what it was. It was
It's a Nokia
A little
joke. It's
piece of
okay.
Yeah, it's a Nokia joke, dear.
You're all right. They're indestructible. Those things have been accidentally put into pavement and cars running over them, and they'll still work.
Oh, jeez.
They're strong. Go on.
So he convinced the other guild leader that I was a psycho beast, and he managed to convince the guild that this had happened, and so they booted me out and stole my guild.
Mm.
And then, of course, I was upset afterwards, and I think I just straight up didn't log in. Again, this was during EQ2. I think I just didn't log in for a little while after that. And then I started getting emails from the third guild leader and other people in the guild saying, "Oh my God, we're so sorry. This guy is a goddamn psycho." I guess he had lost his cookies and just went nuts on the guild.
It always
Jazz?
happens eventually.
Jazz, I have to ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you remember what you told me about who fills these games?
Yes.
Yo.
And for context, she told me a long time ago these games are full of sad, broken people. Not all of them, but most.
Not all of them, right?
There's an awful lot of them, yes.
There's
Because we're all fine, right? Twitch.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, you can be sad and broken and not a complete total
And
psycho.
not a-
Well, exactly.
True. And
but
not
I
drive.
was trying to explain to him why there seemed to be a prevalence of these women that were just purposely screwing with him.
Yeah, I've run into the same thing you've run into Unify, except from the opposite end of the spectrum, and that's a talk we had a long time ago, and I thought it was relevant.
Yep. Yeah, don't mistake. I mean, obviously for Yudve, it happens because, with dudes, because she's, a chick. So that does happen in the reverse.
Yes, it
Sex
does.
is not a factor in crazy.
I will leave this at this, but Rahanar has a couple stories, but he wasn't comfortable sharing them
Nah, it's cool.
with the world. So, but yes, it does absolutely happen in the reverse.
Well, perhaps when he gets a little bit more comfortable, we can revisit this topic and he can come and tell us.
Yes. And we'll make sure to include the lotion.
All right, well, now I'm uncomfortable.
Okay.
Way to creep us out, Jazz.
Wow.
Yikes.
I don't even know where to go with that now. It went from already a creepy place to now Jazz being responsible for it living and taking root on Yunfei's couch and putting it in that creepy place for probably the next solid 2 months.
It puts the lotion on the Ren. I'm having nightmares.
Right. It puts the lotion on the skin or it gets the hose again.
I have a feeling this is not a family-friendly show.
Oh, no, this
right
probably won't be. I don't think we were ever intended to be for a younger audience. We're not the Marvel
tried.
Universe.
I tried to keep it a little family friendly because I think when I was talking to you in game last night, Ashen, I think I said a couple things that weren't very family friendly.
Oh,
Probably not,
this-
but I totally glance over that because I'm just
This
a
is
terrible
Ashen.
person. Yeah.
he's. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, we are talking to technically a cannibal, so...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was finally rescued this morning.
Yeah, by the way, good job, ESO, on letting one of your quests stick a character stuck on an island with no way to teleport off or get out of it for... How many days was it?
4 days.
Yeah, 4 solid days without...
Wow.
That was
without a
Shea Gorath, man.
response. Yeah. So, well, I appreciate you calling in, Yunfei. Those were horrifying.
Yes, they were.
They were all horrifying.
You're welcome.
And it was really good to speak with you. I don't know that we've ever actually talked in voice before.
I don't think so.
I don't think so
I did
either.
real quick one green flag.
Okay, yeah. Let's hit any green flags you have. Let's try to balance the 3,000-mile drive and letting his parents think he was dead with something positive.
I have less of those, I think, but actually it was when I first met you in EQ2.
Oh, I don't believe it.
And no, really. And I was like, wow, this guy is actually a normal person.
And now what do you think?
Oh, that's
She's quieter.
Yeah, Plead the Fifth. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, and I try to be. Live by what we actually say on the show, and have built up over a period of time. But yeah, I actually thought the same thing about you. It's like, I mean, the playing a little Faye character was a little bit of a flag, but it wasn't a halfling, so it was all right.
I played her strange anyway.
Yeah, she was adorable.
Actually, when I joined Silver Circle too, like, I mean, I know there's some stories there too, but for the most part, the people that I role played with and spoke to out of character were very down to earth, very, very just respectful, good people.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, and then there was Strafe.
And then there was Strafe, I was about to say. Ren remembers your character and wanted to dismember it in every way possible. But
he hated you. No, I mean, he didn't hate you. His character hated
I didn't hate you. Yeah.
Right, that's what I meant. But yeah, no, you were definitely one of my all-time favorite people to have role-played with, even probably over Jazz. I'm just saying. She's just the worst. Between you and me, just the problems with her I've had over the years. And oh shit, she can hear me. Hey, Jazz. No.
Well, I'll tell you what, your character was probably one of the best Fae I ever interacted with. That, other than like you and Razor, are probably the only two that I really just absolutely
didn't
love.
Want to pull the wings off of.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and your character was absolutely, both of you were absolutely adored by Vaca because they were so interesting and weird. So that's not a bad thing.
Don't forget Natty Flies. She was pretty good.
Yes, that's what I was talking
that's
about.
Razor.
Natty.
Yeah, Razor's Natty.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So
that makes me really happy to hear.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't still be in contact with you after all this time if you were.
The commander Triton. You remember him?
Yeah,
my husband. That's my husband, and he, as his character, absolutely loved Yunfei. As he said, she's the only one I don't want to throw in the fireplace and make the fire pretty.
Gormal just wanted to, bag her up and cook her, but Gormal, come on.
But it's Gormal. He'd cook her right. He wouldn't overdo it.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
He needed respect.
That's sweet.
Trolls say the nicest things. But all right, well, we're gonna go ahead and let you go, Yunfei, and seriously appreciate you calling in and sharing
thank you.
Yeah, totally.
stories.
Sure, no
later,
problem.
And you have a good night.
You too.
All right, there we go. Okay, so
That would be terrifying.
yeah, well, that would be the results of missing a few red flags, I would say. So with that, we actually have a few red ones, few green ones, more red ones than green ones, just because being negative is always easier than being positive. It's just a fact of life.
Yes.
So
Plus, you're given so many more examples. So.
yeah. So like first one here, they don't attempt anything ever. Now, not always is this necessarily bad. They could just be a brand new role player. When it's bad is when they're not a bad they're not a brand new role player and they're just godbodding constantly.
Constantly, yes.
That is kind of a big red flag on the field. Yeah. And metagaming, that would be another one. I read your journal. No, you didn't. Oh, well, I mean, I read it out of character. Then how do you know it in character? Reasons.
Reason.
And
That was always a big challenge.
That is a classic.
We all wrote journals, and we all had to deal with people who would be like somehow magically aware of what happened because of it.
Yeah.
That's why I don't write journals.
Oh, I love writing journals,
like
and
doing them.
I actually prefer it because then you find out who the scary role players are pretty damn quick.
Yeah, I like
And you know
how
who to avoid.
Insomniac 102, the good old OOC in-character leak.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing's worse than when you spring a leak of information. All right. So let's see here. some of the we've all got a few of them, so I'll read off. I'll do the first 3, and then we'll just trade off like 3-on-3 and go down the list. The other one says one thing in character, out of character, and does the other thing in character or out of character. Basically, just bold-faced lies to you. Just says, yeah, I've got this great idea. Let's do this, this, and this, and this, and then you plan it out, and then they do everything to make you look like an idiot. That's kind of a, here's your sign.
Yeah, another one of those is, well, I don't care if your character lies to me, I see. I could care less.
Right.
But along those lines, if somebody's lying to me, OOC,
yes,
about stuff, and you find out, and you're like, wait.
Right.
So that's always right there with that. If you say something and then you do something else, and then you're like, I didn't say that. And then you ask them OOC, and they're like, no, really, I never said that. When they totally did, yeah.
It's like, dude, I was there. It was a 2-party conversation. I was half of that party. You just don't remember it right. Okay, you know what? Ignore.
Oof.
Another good one, of course, is always tries to get attention aggro in damn near every situation. And this is one we've brought up a lot of times. This is everything from the... Okay, I think Kishmas can go take this one. Give us an example, Kishmas, because you clearly have an opinion on this one pretty good.
Yeah, it's probably the biggest pet peeve when people are in certain events when I'm doing certain DMs, and there was this one time where a gentleman was kicked out of the event because Lee Raj told him, no, you cannot be on this expedition, and you're going to go to the entrance and you're going to guard it. Which is basically telling him, like, get out of the event. You're being an asshole, which he was. And so they asked me, OOC, well, can I stay and spectate the event? I'm like, yeah, sure, totally. I'm fine with that. The asshole goes to the beginning of the where the event is, like the gates. I think it was like a Dwemer Ruin. And he starts emoting how thinks that Rajir's an asshole and thinks about, all this stuff. I'm just like...
Passive-aggressive bullshit.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So I kick him from the group. Then we eventually get him out of the guild because he's done this multiple times. And I, for one, have attention problems when it comes to DMing. And when someone does that, I get really flustered and really annoyed. So I'm just like, you're out. Fuck off.
Yeah, because it's like because you can't you can't counter God mod that, because that's, I mean, your character doesn't know what they're thinking, and I've used thinking emotes in ways like not like that to piss people off, but like just so that they know like what the character's like body language or like face might be like, they're thinking, hey, that was a really good move, like so like the eyebrow raise, like, hey, way to go. But the passive aggressive emote, that's actually a pretty big one. Now I've seen people do it in our guilds too. Usually as a joke, because the person's cool.
It's along the lines of Kish was saying, except it wasn't the passive aggressive thing; it was the attention grabby thing you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
2 examples. One, I've mentioned it before. We have an assassination attempt on our matron, which was Vaka's Tune back in the day. And one of our chief knights, whatever he was, falls down, completely wounded, critical, pay attention to me, pay no attention that our matron stabbed. And then the other one... Sorry. The other one...
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still
He's
recovering.
Still got throat things, so you're in the clear, man. Don't worry about it.
The other one would be lurking around, and at an event, you bring your friends, and you have these possessive people that are role playing with you. And the minute you start role playing with somebody else, you start getting all these passive aggressive tells.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? This is role play. Are you seriously digging into this? Silence for 5 minutes, and then like clockwork, it'd start up again. It's like, you're not paying attention to me. Why am I not the center of attention?
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
It also brings up the point of running your own events and how you should try not to, have your character lead the expedition because you know what's going to happen.
Right.
So someone might DM an event and they'll have their character be the sole hero, and I did this, guys, and I need your help. This event was pointless. Like, shit like that.
It's a good thing I was here to save the day. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you guys came, too. Oh, that's the worst. Yeah, no, that's both the aggroing the situation and I don't think we have passive aggressive on here. I don't remember. I don't think we did. But that is awful. Just the mind quotation emotes of, oh yeah, like you said, Raj is such an asshole. I could totally be a better commander than Roger. Guard the door.
Probably, yeah.
You know what you are right now? You're demoted to doorstop. You just keep the door open so that when we want to leave, we don't have to strain of like opening it again. That's really all you're really good for.
It's an adult temper tantrum, right?
It really is. Like someone, I forgot who said. I saw it scroll by in the chat. Like, it's high school. It's high school level. I get it. I mean, we're role playing. There's an element of immaturity to this, but so are writers. I mean, they're writing stories and things like that. That's basically what we're doing is interactive writing. It doesn't have to be immature. We know what we're doing and we're having fun. Some people like to, body paint themselves in, football colors. Cool. That's what they're having a good time, and they're not feeling most of it after the 5th beer, so it doesn't really matter. Also, role players are also fairly heavy drunks, so we have that in common with the sports guys. But yeah, the attention grabbing aggro of the Strafei, like you said, with the splinter, or like, I've got a splinter.
Or the other popular one would be I'm a healer. I will take your wounds and put it on me. Oh look, now I'm wounded.
Oh gosh.
God, that got so bad in our guild that we had to ban it. We had to say, you are not allowed to take your wounds in someone's wounds into you. That's stupid.
Right.
Counterproductive.
Like I get it. Like I get it if it's a rarely used thing, but like multiple times in the day, you're not a necromancer.
And then they're instantly okay the minute that they've got all the attention. And it's just, oh, stop that. So
right.
I remember that used to give our lead healer, Illa, just fits. She would have to deal with that from people and be just like, stop it. Please stop it.
I'm sure that's ammunition for another episode of why people are obsessed with I'm wounded RP, but
yeah,
it is a thing.
It is a thing.
Well,
what's sad is,
go ahead.
I've been wounded twice this week, and I won't even stay in the infirmary. I'm like, just leave me alone. Heal me and leave me alone.
Time was something that you specifically chose. One of them you had thrust upon you, and the other one was just like, well, now what do I do? I kind of have to take the hit,
Yeah, but no, I don't.
You were injured by at least other characters, so that's something.
Yeah, we had to deal with that a lot. That whole wounded dove RP, which is what I've always called it.
The what?
I like
wounded
that.
dove. Wounded dove RP.
No, I like that.
Look at me. Pay attention. Because the doves, when you get close to their nest, they'll start acting.
Yeah, we've got a few
like they're
around
wounded
here.
to lead you away, and that's just kind of the way that these RPers are. They see it as you're infringing on their level of attention, and so now they have to be the wounded dove to get your attention back to them, and it's it's not helpful at all.
Sib, you want to hit the next number 4?
Can I hit it?
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer you didn't because that monitor's expensive, but you can read it.
Okay. Number 4. Rewrites history in character and out of character.
Mm-hmm. Anybody?
Oh, Lord. I have too much on this.
Actually, never ran into that problem before.
You sure you want me to go? It's going to be bad.
Make it concise. We don't have an entire show to give. I know all the probably examples you have, but let's just go with 1 or 2 really good ones.
Okay. Character I know, roleplay with the years, starts off as a vampire, then suddenly isn't a vampire when situations don't, go the way they want. So they modify it, and never mind those years of I was a vampire. But then they go back and retain it later. So it's like revisionist history at its finest.
And quick, and one of the worst examples of this was we were all in the Spectre Cartel was a guild in EQ2, and it was run by Lithal? Was that her name?
Yeah.
Lithal.
Lithal. I think Lithal is correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's... I can't remember how to... I'm pretty sure that's how I always said it. And they were a good guild. The big barbarian guy was a cool guy. They were really
Why can
good.
I not remember his name?
Wasn't it Rothgar?
Hrothgar, maybe?
No.
Ragnarok?
Ragnar? I don't
No,
know.
it wasn't Ragnarok. I think it was
Ruthgar.
Ruthgar. That was
Yeah,
it. Yes.
Lithel and Ruthgar. They were great guild leaders. They're really good, cool people. Their guild was a lot of fun too. They were like a mafia thing. It was basically a mafia themed, underground kind of thing. But they had somebody invited into it, and like this guild had been around because remember EQ2 is an old game, had been around for years and years and years, almost as long as the Silver Circle had at that point.
They were like a year and a half or 2 years younger than us. So I mean, they came around right around the same time.
Yeah, they were. I mean, by this point when we were in there, I mean, like an 8-year-old guild at least. And so they had history. They had previous leaders. The guild had been passed from hands to one hand to the other hand, and it just had a great legacy, a great story, and it was actually fun to learn the lore of this guild. In comes this other character that decides to take what they thought was just an NPC in the guild, which was represented as an NPC, but was also played by somebody at times as well, and proceeded to rewrite all of guild history as though their character had been there at the beginning of the guild all these years ago, and were actually secretly helping to run it from behind the scene. And once the story started to come out, they were like, yeah, that did not happen. You didn't run this by us or get permission for it. You're not rewriting our guild history. That ain't happening. And that was, after that, they pretty much knew what they had with that person, and they didn't last much longer after that. Because you can't rewrite history like that. It's bad. You have to go to college to learn that kind of stuff.
Where they will rewrite it for you. Surprise!
That's right. Okay, so, and I know the next one, Sib, number 5.
Oh, that was one we were talking about earlier.
That was yours,
today.
so yeah, I wanted you to have that one.
Number 5. They're constantly negative. No matter what you do, what you say, what you try to say, it's, no, that doesn't sound right. Or, you want to go do something. No, I don't want to do that.
Or I don't like those people over there at all. Or that's roleplay's not for me. Or shut up, Eeyore. Yeah, constant negativity. That one, man, that one's rough. The other, and her saying that kind of led me to the other one, which is one that irritates me just because, and it's always a sign for me if it's more a level of maturity. It's the people that talk about how they wish they were dead, like there's some sort of 16-year-old emo that's, and they're like, well, that's just how I am, it just, but you aren't. Yeah, I mean, you really aren't. I mean, I get it that, like, depression is a real thing. I mean, we've all probably dealt with it here at one point or another. But when you're constantly on this, like, emo, like, 1990s, wearing all black, like, death is the only answer.
Suicide watch cases?
Right.
Yeah.
I cry in the rain because it hides my tears. Shut up.
I mean, I do.
Well, yeah, but you're weird.
Yeah.
We had a guy like that in a Silver Circle, and everybody took pity on him, and everybody tried to help, but the guy literally was thriving on that kind of attention.
They didn't want help.
And finally, once I figured out the deal, I kind of had I had lost my patience with the guy, and the next time he said, "Oh, I'm suicidal," I dressed him down. I was like, "Dude," and I let him have it with everything the gusto that was trained into me. And he literally stopped talking to me because he couldn't get that level of tension anymore. But he moved on to somebody else.
Yeah, and a lot of times that's just it. It's the same. It's the attention grabbers, and it's not just in character, but it's out of character grabbing attention as well. That always flags me as somebody that's maybe not necessarily stable. Like, not just, like, oh, they're actually going to go through with it, because obviously suicide's a real thing. It's bad. It sucks. It's always awful. But it also has this level of attention that all you have to do is say it, and there's always people that are going to be like, "Oh no!" It's like, well, he's been saying that for 5 years now. I mean, shit or get off the pot, man. Come on. Are you real? You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. So that's one that, that's just one for me. And if they're constantly it's just like being negative, and it's always emo this and emo that stuff. It's just, I don't know. I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Well, it just sends up flags,
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't somebody.
there are people who are legitimately depressed and struggle with it a lot. And we've met a couple of them that are diagnosed as having chronic severe depression.
Yeah.
But then you have people like this idiot that Strife was, who basically was just saying this stuff to get attention, money.
Yeah, exactly. And you actually can tell the difference with enough time. And even, Jazz, I know you can tell the difference between the attention seeker and someone like, man, that dude's seriously fucked up. He needs some help.
Well, you don't at first because, you're taught never to dismiss it when someone says that stuff. But after a while, you began to figure out this was just a game to him.
Exactly.
And then I just got mad. Then I was just angry. And I even I think that the bottom line was he had one of his characters commit suicide.
We had a lot of guild officer meetings about this guy in question.
Yeah, and we finally were like, I said, I'm all for supporting someone that's depressed. And I certainly have in my life understood that there are people that are seriously having a problem with this. This guy was just using it, and it infuriated me, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, and it takes away from people like that. They take away from an actual problem, and that's not cool.
You're the boy that cried wolf, right?
Right.
Yeah, It's like crying wolf, and then you've got people, because they knew him, they won't believe somebody that honestly is struggling with depression and really is sad all the time and really is struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's absolutely one of those things that when I see it at this point, I just get mad because it's like, stop it.
Yeah, because you're hurting people that actually need help. It's, like you said, Strife, the boy who cried wolf, or in the case, the boy that cried suicide. It's not. Cool.
I let him. I finally told him how serious that was because I was trained as a suicide prevention dude when I did some community work at University of Texas, and I literally told him, I was like, "Look, dude, let me hit you with the official line, and I'll even hit you with what I believe religiously." I let him have it, and he had nothing to say. He always kept trying to give me these excuses, and I said, "No, you can do this, and this." He finally just gave up and just stopped talking to me completely.
Yeah, and I did the same thing. I said, "Are you on medication? No. Have you been to a doctor? No. Are you seeing a shrink? No. Have you called a line? No. Then shut up."
Yeah, then you're not
because
really.
You're not really serious.
All that stuff, right?
Yeah, unless you're actively trying to fix what's wrong, then there's probably a good chance there's nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm. Kishmas, you want to take number 7? Because I know that we probably think similarly on this one as well.
That's a good one. Can give a joke, but can't take it. Suicide/dead children acceptable. One prison butt joke, not. Double standard.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a flag, I think, for most of us.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're going to jump my shit about, I can be very crass and I can be very forward. I can, and I don't deny it. Yeah, you can. And so when I cross that line, I don't get mad at people who are like, dude, that was a little far. It makes me uncomfortable. Can we back it up a little bit? And I'll be like, sure, sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't realize this was a problem for you. I won't do it again.
Yeah.
But then if 5 minutes later, I hear you talking to someone about how you rammed some guy up the butt with a sword and it was cool. And, and you're talking about all this gore and you're like, no. And then the next day you're sitting there talking about how you and your girlfriend were going at it and flesh and all this stuff is flying all over the place.
More.
And you're just like,
more Jazz.
dude, you can take that complaint you just gave me a couple of days ago and
shove it right up there with the sword.
Yep, I'm done. Because that makes me really upset. If you can talk about it with your friends, but because my RP bothered you that wasn't involving you, and somehow that means that it's wrong, but you can turn around and have a much more base conversation with someone that you know, and that's okay.
Right.
That's a flag for me. Always will be.
Yeah, because it's one of those things like with jokes. I have jokes, politics, and religion. You can bring they want, even though most guilds have a no religion politics joke rule, and they know they're not supposed to bring it up. They bring it up, and then if somebody's like, "Well, I don't agree with that," whoa, well then don't bring it up. That's why there's a rule. Okay, you can't if you don't want to have the adult conversation, don't bring it up. It's a double.
But they didn't
standard.
read the rules. They just said they read the rules,
right?
bro.
Exactly, Strafe. I'm looking at you.
Hey, man, I read those wretched rules. So I think
He read them all.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna that double standard thing, I get it. It's the people that are like what you just said, Jazz. Everything you just said, where you don't get offended by a lot of things. Very few things do that. And then, they say that all of what you just said, but it's all a lie. They just say that because they know it sounds good. But the second you hit their one little trigger button, they're triggered, to use the modern terms for it. And then they're like,
this really bothers me. Don't ever do it again. And then the next day they're talking about it with someone they love or like, and it's just like,
yeah,
what?
It's just an excuse. Yeah, it's a double standard. Double standard.
It's a way to control the RP at the time because you felt left out, and so you're making this statement because you don't want people to do that kind of role play when it doesn't involve you.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that that's what it comes down to. Is nothing else.
Yeah, and this works for both in character and out of character because it can happen there too. And it's like,
it does.
Okay, so so now I know who you are. I might need to back away just a little bit from you and maybe give you a longer look.
And maybe they had a bad day and it just hit them sideways and they were letting me know. Because I do tell people in the guild, if something bothers you, tell me. So I give people the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes it turns out to not be a bad thing. It was just they had a bad day.
Yeah.
Other times it was an honest to God red flag. But that behavior is always a flag. It may turn out to be a false flag, to quote.
Yep.
But it is nevertheless a flag
it's a false
at
flag.
that moment.
Well, yeah, there was a thing happened at the guild. It really pissed me off. Still does. Still not. I'm still. There's certain jokes, but then there's visual things that I'm like, I can't. Things that you can't unsee with an imagination. In that. Yes. I don't double standard on that one. Still completely against it. Had it just been a joke about it, wouldn't have cared. Words don't really bother me that much, unless you talk about my mama. My mama's a saint. She's a saint. Which, by the way, 1 week till Mother's Day. 1 week warning.
It's
1
true.
week till Mother's Day. 1 week warning.
I gotta get on that. I already kind of promised Mom she was getting something.
Yeah.
I already bought my mother something. I've still got to figure out how to get it to her because I'm not going over there because I won't spend it. I won't go. No, I can't mail it because it won't get there in time because we have shitty mail out here.
But don't you want to support the great jobs that Ashen and the Civvies does?
I do, and if I thought that they would actually get to her by now, but it's going to take 3 days to get to Montour, even though Montour is a 5-minute drive away, and then it is 3 days to get from Montour to Toledo, and Toledo is 10 minutes away.
Holy
so
Toledo.
it's better for me to just frickin' deliver it. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to find
what you do. While you're driving by, you have the oldest. All right, and you roll down the window as you drive, and he just chucks it into the yard, and then you give a phone call and be like, "Mom, did you get that package I sent with the mailman? Oh, actually, you know what? With the UPS guy? Well, no, I don't see it, dear. Check the yard. They're known to just throw them out of the vehicle in that area. There it is. How dare they? There you go. Now you got it all. And UPS takes the fall.
think I'm going to bribe my husband to take it over there.
Oh, that works too.
I can't be in the same room with her, but I don't want to disrespect my mother that way. So
not in that way, just other ways.
I bought her something that she will really like. It'll be here Tuesday, so I just have to figure out a way to get it to her that does not involve me being in breathing distance. So
I like
We'll
my
be fine.
idea. So while you're talking, take number 8. Well, you wrote it, so it's like
I did. I
Yeah.
wrote all of these. Okay. So refuses consequences to outrageous, rude, contradictory behavior that would get anyone else in trouble. Saying things like, A, it's not fun for me, so I don't want to. B, I'd rather just run with this and get away with it. That's okay, right? It's just a game. It's not real. So why not just let me go? Or C, stop trying to control my RP. I told you I was a super fragilistic, amazing half-demon were-vampire.
Also known as the Purple Wookiee. Just saying.
purple.
And
Wookiee.
we all have, and the thing is I wish I was kidding about these statements because these are not
Oh no,
made
they're
up.
all real statements.
I'm not exaggerating. This is
maybe-
things people have told me.
Short of the, I think the only thing that you exaggerated was super fragilistic.
And amazing. Yeah, I put those two in
Oh
there
no, I'm
because
sure
whenever,
they said amazing. I'm just saying super fragilistic.
well, they always are like, I'm a half this, half that, part this, and you know
Yeah.
that, and you know that he has this. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I always insert super fragilistic, amazing into everything they say about that because it makes me smile.
Yeah, and without the expialidocious, it really is just creepy.
Yeah.
hmm No, that one. Yeah, anybody that wants to constantly do the be the bad boy but never take the bad boy consequences.
And that happens so much in military or structured guilds. Like our guild is not like that this time around. So short of getting in Kia's face, you're not going to get a lot of consequences for anything. She'll just walk away. But in Silver Circle, and I'm sure in Temple RP, I'm sure that, there's a lot of rules. And when you have somebody that is constantly being rude, obnoxious, disobedient, contradictory, and then they get mad because they get in trouble.
Yeah, there's been people that have come and gone out of there. I know Kishmas knows some of them because I'm pretty sure he's the one that is like, yeah, you're done.
Yep.
That they take a thing and then they just run with it, and then when it turns out that what they did was, dumb, they're like, well, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to be demoted. Well, then you probably shouldn't have done the thing that common sense says, don't do that.
Called consequences, Chief. Learn them.
That's right.
And then they'll say, but this is just a game.
Yeah, we get that. We're playing it
also
too. Yeah, it has to have consequences. That's the thing. If you don't have consequences, then there's really no point in doing it. It's got to be some
Anytime
form
that
of
somebody refuses consequences like that in a situation, the first time it happens, I'll usually give them a warning and let it go. It's not necessarily a flag yet because
Yeah.
everybody has those moments.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is a consequence. I know it sucks and I'm sorry. Well, I didn't read the rules. Well, that's not my problem. You should have read the rules, but my character didn't read the rules. Also not my problem since we're told OOC and IC in two separate places in two separate ways that not reading the rules does not give you permission to break them.
It's a red flag right of its own right there. I
Yes.
didn't
Yeah,
read the
not
rules.
reading the
Excuse
rules,
me?
another red flag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you said you did. But I didn't. Interesting. Tell me more.
Or my character read them. I didn't, though. Well, that's helpful since you're playing your character. Maybe that would be a problem.
Yeah.
Well, just tell it to me now because he would have read them.
Yeah.
I just didn't. Do you remember? And I'll say, go to the page and tell me what it says. The very last 2 sentences at the bottom of the page where these rules are discussed. And they'll go there and they'll go, oh, because it says failure to read the rules, either OOC or IC, will not constitute a get out of jail free card when you get slammed into a cell for being an idiot. Thank you.
Exactly. All right.
And you send them to Gormal's company. I love
it. You want to get the next one too, Jazz? Since you
Yep.
I'll let you get these since you wrote them and we can all comment.
Okay. I am the most wanted, lusted after, amazing, beautiful. Oh, did I forget to mention that I'm irresistible because of magic, special blood, God blessings, talented, I can do these 10,000 things perfectly, universal, special, noble that everyone likes. Did I tell you that I met the queen and we're buds, etc., etc.?
My head hurts. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that sounds about right to you, Jazz.
Huh?
Oh, no, he did not.
I didn't hear what he said, so.
He said, I'll quote. Sounds about like you, Jazz.
No. Bad boy.
Man.
You're right.
Don't make me,
Damn right
don't
I
make
am.
me spank you.
Oh no, please don't.
No, stop. Yeah, that's for one, that's a mouthful.
Hey,
It was fun to type.
I bet. Yeah, that's a rough one too. When they're basically what the Mary Sue's.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what a Mary Sue is. I was
Yeah.
just trying to explain because
Yeah.
a lot of people they hear most snowflakes, but Mary Sue, all that. They hear that, but they don't
Mary
necessarily
Sue.
know what it means.
Exactly.
I'm talking when I write number, this one is about Mary Sue's. This is about people who can do everything and are lusted after, and they tend to be married to
And if-
multiple people and have
And if
multiple
you don't lust
children.
after them,
yeah,
it's
then
part
there's
of my
something wrong.
story.
Yep. I had a guy tell me that I was obviously God modding because I didn't fall for his character because
Like he
his
told
character
you
is
to.
right. And because his character
Well,
is this
God modding.
succubus, whatever, God mod, yeah. And I was just like, you can't be serious. But he was.
Yeah, that's.
I got RP PTSD right now, man. It's rough.
These two that I just covered are two of the most common problems that we had in Silver Circle were these because we were playing people that are gods and not gods, but monsters who were often God touched or God affected or demons or whatever. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff in our guild. And this was one of the big problems is because they were like, but I'm majestic. And it's like, and so is everyone else here.
Such majesty.
And that was the thing that I think people that were in the guild a long time got it. That part of the reason that we did the Monsters and Men guild was because by having a guild that was mostly monsters, nobody's special.
Yeah.
By default, they're like, but I'm this and I'm this.
Well, and so are these
what?
guys over here. Join your corner.
Yeah, pick your corner because we're all something, so let's just roll with it. So it helped in that sense kind of keep some of the drama down, I think, just because there was nobody that was really and we had lots of people who were mortal who also were very special for one reason or another.
Mhm.
And I tolerated it because,
Except the Watcher. He was a baller.
That's right. He was totally a god modder.
yeah, but he was written to be a god modder, so we knew that was going to happen.
Exactly.
Bless
He
the
was
Watcher
supposed
for
to
giving
be.
me the spidery powers.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, I mean, that was a little bit different, but that was the two most common problems that I had, particularly with girls, whether they were played by boys or girls really didn't matter. Whenever we had these females in the guild as characters, they were often, I'm beautiful, like some cat in heat, stroking around, just going, trying to get everybody's attention. And you're
Stroking
like,
around, huh?
seriously,
Stroking around.
I meant what I said. Trying to anyway. I mean, we had a character that had been in the guild, and Ren will remember. Maybe Ren will remember this. Maybe he won't. But there was a chick who came in and applied to the guild and was explaining to us OOC. Oh my God, for like two or three paragraphs about how special, unique, and beautiful her character was.
Okay, I'm gonna have to add one on that. Go ahead, finish what your thought.
And
You
then
made me think
when
something.
she's in the middle of applying, first she tried to kiss Rengots. Like God modded that she just walked up and kissed him. He's like, no, you don't. And then she turned around and stuck her hand down Greiger's pants.
I think
What?
During the freaking talk to intrigue.
Yeah. And we were like, okay, time out.
I think
stop,
I remember
stop,
somebody
stop.
doing something like that to Xanis once. They like tried to go up and kiss him, and I was like, I think I played it cool and emoted something like before she gets to him, his finger goes to her forehead and gently pushes her head back away from
I
him.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. That was hilarious. She was so freaking pissed at him.
It was like,
oh my God, it was hilarious.
yeah.
Jazz
you
had
don't go
explained
there.
that she went up and kissed Ren, she would have been dead, and like before she even got close
Yeah.
enough to kiss him.
Yeah.
So I had to pause the role play at that point, and I explained to this woman that that's not going to happen. It's called God modding, and you need to stop. And she was like,
Yeah.
nobody's ever stopped me before. Well, Welcome to this guild. So you can't do that, and somebody's going to eat you if you keep it up, and
Nice.
not in a fun way.
Nice one,
So-
Rahanar. He says,
Oh.
so funny story.
Not
This
in a
one
good
time I
way.
tried to kiss Xanis. What you had said, there's another one I meant to put on here, but I didn't. The ones that when you're in the middle of the role play, they constantly, like we've mentioned it before, the ones that have to explain everything they've done out of character, just happened in character. That right there is always a flag to me that, because nothing ever gets done. You're just stuck in OOC talk the most of the time,
Right.
being described to and talking about the role play you're literally in the middle of having. It's if you have something like, well, that wasn't clear, here, let me clarify. Okay, that's fine. But like, all right, well, here's the motivation, and here's what I'm thinking. This is my headcanon. Now, bear with me. I've got 14 pages of notes to go through. All right, you know what? We're done. We're good. We're good. Look at my wrist. It's yep, time to go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, my mom's calling me. Did you move out 20 years ago? Yeah, she's really loud. Gotta go. Bye.
My mom's calling me.
I gotta go. I don't know. Shave the chickens. I have no idea. I'm just anywhere but you.
Choke the chicken.
That's I've got to just choke it out. Just
choke it.
Choke it hard.
Do it.
So, number 10. Refusal to follow any kind of lore or consistent storyline.
Hey, I don't think Strafe's read any. Have you?
Oh, he gets the next one.
Okay.
That one was short, so I just took it real quick.
I don't even know where the list is, man. Sorry.
Oh, did you not even bring it up? Man, you're the worst.
Yeah, I'm the worst tonight. I got a massive headache too. Sorry.
Man.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize to him. I hope it hurts. I actually don't. But to be mean, I have to say I do. So yeah, refusal to follow any kind of lore or consistent story. Like, I mean, that just kind of goes without saying, really. Like, if you're not following what you're supposed to do in the game, what do we have to work with then?
Yep. And it's an amazing number of people that do that. They change their characters constantly. They don't follow lore. Their story changes weekly. And then they're upset because people are like, I thought last week you said this.
Yeah. I didn't actually read any of the lore.
Or as one person told me one time when I said that's not gonna work in lore. Oh, that's okay, because like I don't follow lore. I just kind of go with whatever's fun.
Okay, well,
and I said, well, that's going to be a problem because we don't do that. What do you mean? You don't like to have fun?
Yes.
I let Tilda handle her. She stayed for 5 whole minutes and she was gone.
5 whole minutes. Yeah, that's a rough one. All right, so Strafe, you don't have it pulled up?
No.
Okay, man.
I can read for him instead.
I was gonna have Kishmas do it.
Oh, okay. Kishmas do it.
Kishmas
Yay,
do it.
let's have
Come on,
Kishmas do it.
Kish.
Come
Come on,
What?
Kish.
Which one?
Let's get in here and do number 11.
Stop it. Anyway. Constantly explains OOC without being asked in any fashion, OOC or IC, why their character should be upset, angry, perfect, emotional, respected, etc., etc.
Yeah, that kind of goes along with the one we were just talking about there. Yeah, because it's just don't.
I want Kishmas to read the next one too.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I want to hear his reaction.
Kishmas, read it in your sexy voice.
Yes.
Wait, what? I don't have one.
Yes, you do. It's just your normal voice. Continue.
Can I add
No.
something real quick?
No.
Can I add something real quick to number
you can
11?
add whatever you want.
Okay, with Discord, that one is dangerous because if you're RPing and you're in a group in Discord and somebody you and somebody in character have a disagreement about whatever, then they come on there and they start saying, well, it's this way in the game. Okay, you need to stop. that's a red flag because
Yes, it is.
they need to stop because it is in game. You need to handle it in game.
Oh, it's in
People-
character. Yeah,
but it's
basically
also-
it's the
But Discord has made it easier
Yeah,
for
so
people
it's
to do
different.
Discord
that.
or
tell.
any voice things as well
Mhm.
as text things have made it easier for people to try to OOCly manipulate
and bully.
IC
Yeah.
through their talking out of character because they want you to understand and change what you're doing.
Yeah, and
No.
I second Kishman's motion. No.
I will not read number 12, by the way.
Why not? Come
Oh my
on.
Gotta read it.
Fine.
Send me the link. I'll read it.
Is married to 10 different people and is pregnant with triplets where God touched and can cure people in the womb with only a thought, i.e.
Oh my
super
God, I should have
duper
read that.
baby-making powers that make things again.
Yeah.
Listen.
Super
What you
duper
do?
baby making powers that make no sense. Yes, that's.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm getting a telepathic message from the womb at this moment. Right now, I can. It says, "Where's the light switch?" Huh, that's a little weird.
Yeah.
Oh, also,
Stop-
I have
stop
yet to
me warm
form
in here.
human language.
But they're special babies with special powers, and they reject their mommy. So
Listen.
they're going to kill the mommy, so you have to pay attention to the mommy.
Listen.
Oh, Lord, I've been there.
Listen. I will never RP having quintuplets, alright?
Ouch.
Never. Or have like 10 wives and shit. Fuck that.
Well, that is more. I just wanted to hear you read it more than anything else. We did have several people in EQ2 that were married to at least 10 people. There was even a guild where everybody was married to everybody else. And there was almost like 30 people in their guild, and they were all married to each other in this big web, and they all had children with each other. It was a nightmare. I stayed as far away from them as I could. But it's not, and I see shades of it in ESO.
They weren't
But
the doctor
nothing that
race
bad.
from Enterprise, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the super baby thing where they're telepathic and they can. Yeah, that's. It's just. I don't know. I mean, I get it. People, and don't get me wrong. People do whatever they want. There's gonna be somebody crazy that wants to and likes this kind of stuff. That person doesn't have to be you.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they can't do it. I'm saying to me, it's a red flag.
Exactly. They can do
Yeah.
whatever they want. I just don't have to participate or be near them.
Right.
Okay.
Because when it starts, I just go away. Yeah.
yeah, and baby RP, I know it's not my cup of tea, but like I will say, like Raj, you and Neth, or Kishmas, you and Neth do it very well in game. It's not
It's
overplay. It's something. It's a talking subject. I mean, you guys do it really well. I don't think I could do it.
I've been party to the babies talking on the womb RP, and it's
normal.
it goes nowhere
That
good.
I was thinking of you when I said that.
Thank
so.
you. And yes, and I know you're. Yes. Apparently, the baby rejected its mother because it was a heretic.
What the fuck?
The mother was a heretic because the baby favored her father. Dude, I can't make this up.
I don't know if
I
anyone
had to go this whole long drawn out thing to save the mother and convince the baby to get along and take the feed to. I don't know what it was, man. It was ridiculous, but it was pretty terrible. Big massive red
Yeah.
flag.
I'm pretty sure at that point, a trip to Planned Parenthood is in your future. Just saying.
In that case, it was.
I mean, there is the life of the mother is one of the reasons, and I'm just saying, if your baby's trying to kill you in utero with psychic powers, maybe it's time to start looking into that.
God.
No, it was using magic, ice magic in the womb.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, because I don't know.
works.
I don't know if anyone's ever noticed how long it takes babies to learn a language.
You know,
But they
I
got it
agree.
psychically, and how long it takes their brains to develop.
somebody's really gonna hate me if they ever
Special
listen to all
brain
these episodes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
a
you're
little
thinking
bit.
that they don't.
But
already.
maybe that won't really. Yeah.
And they'll never do that because they're not part of it, and that's what they're like. So, number 13 is related
Ashton,
to,
I
or
love you,
actually,
bro. Sorry,
what's that?
Ashton, I love you, bro.
I
Sorry
know.
for interrupting.
You're all right. You're all right, brother. I got you covered. is related to, or actually is someone in the game with godlike or king-like powers, who is a person of lore or part of the game directly. So basically when they play an actual NPC, like an important one.
Yeah, like the queen. Like they'll come in and say that they're the queen.
And I'll be honest, even if it's like the queen's daughter, even I know.
No, yeah, I don't even go.
I
you
even
get
have
too
to
close
back
to
out on that
NPCs, I start throwing it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am the queen.
Unless the king has
Calm down,
like
RuPaul.
hundreds of kids and you know, lore wise, it might make sense that they, you know, if they have over 100 children, you know, because they've had like all these women, then I suppose, you know, maybe you could go with that. But barring that, I really don't see it ever working out.
Yeah, looking at the chat, it looks like with we might have hit a nerve on that one with Insomniac and Axmalexia.
Where
there's like strong feelings on that one.
I got to go look now.
Yeah,
Hold on.
And I understand.
Insomniac
I'm gonna play
when
I'm
someone
gonna go
plays
ahead and
canon
play
character.
Yorn.
Mm-hmm. It's almost
You're
like
gonna play what, Kishmas? With Yarn?
I'm gonna play High King Bjorn Skull King or whatever his fucking name is. High King of Skyrim, because I'm special like that.
Yeah, or I'm his son's. I'm your father's son's cousin's former roommate. What does that make us? Nothing. Oh, okay.
The guys are making me laugh in channel. That was hilarious.
Yeah, but no, it's just there was another podcast that I won't mention because they gave good advice and stuff, but the problem I had with it and it was one of the reasons I was like, I really kind of want to do my own thing now because that's horrible advice. They literally played characters directly out of the main storyline, like heads of cities, and
Characters that had their own little
that were in the literal MSQ.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's man. I'm sorry.
Okay, Ashen, you're gonna play Cloud. Jazz is gonna play Eris. I'll play Sephiroth. It'll be great. Let's do this.
Yeah. Wait, you're gonna kill
Let's
Jazz?
not do this.
Hey, I get to be the spiky-haired freak, and you get to be an effeminate awesome dude. I mean, come on, he is effeminate.
I mean, everybody's
actually, it's
happy.
Final Fantasy. Every dude in that is effeminate. What am I saying? They're all like 17-year-old. Final Fantasy characters, really. That's literally every Final Fantasy character now that I think.
But that kind of stuff is red flag. We talked about it before, and that's, dude, no.
Yeah,
You can't beat
that
the
is
NPCs.
major red flag. I've dealt with it as a guild leader 100 times or more, where somebody comes in and says that they either are one of the Lord characters, or they're directly related to a Lord character. There was a guy that was running around in EQ2 who said that he was the husband to the queen. I forget his name, the character name. But he was sneaking around, kind of doing the I'm in disguise, but he was basically playing the queen, the dark elf queen's husband. And this was somebody that at the time I really respected, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me? You aren't serious with this role play, right?" He's like, "Well, yeah."
Are you effing kidding me?
And so I had to just, bow out, and walk away because I couldn't do it. I couldn't deal with it at all. I just couldn't deal with it.
All right. Number 4, actually 14, kind of goes in with the baby one. I think.
Yeah.
Triplets.
I'm reading it because it's a little short.
Go
It's a short
ahead.
one. Being pregnant with triplets or more, ever, huge red flag for our Jazzy. Run away.
Yes.
Far away.
Run away.
Hey, yes. Let's talk after the show. I want to tell you something.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm terrified. Jez, you want to get? This is our last red flag, and then we'll hit up our green flags and hit the show because green flags are a lot more obvious once you actually hear them.
Yes. This one is a very common one as well for me that I've run into as a guild leader. So openly courts disaster via OOC organizing, and then OOC complains to people about how picked on or terrible their character is with luck. this happens a lot where people ask hapless RPers who just want RP to kidnap, attack, assault, otherwise engage negatively their tune, and then say nothing OOC when players attack this person OOC for forcing the RP on this poor hapless individual. This is super common, and I tend to ask those that attack others I see if someone asks them to do this, because I've run into it so much. And at this point, I'm like, why did you do that? Because it was incredibly stupid. And they're like, well, she's really nice, and she asked me. Knew it.
She had the miracle bra on, though. What was I supposed to do? You realize those are polygons, right?
I'm just so paranoid at this point. Sadly, it usually turns out to be asked for, and they went along with it because they had no real understanding. They were signing their tune's death warrant, or they didn't think that it would end as badly as it did. They didn't think it through. They were just trying to make this other RPer happy and create RP for this poor little girl who has no RP. And she often will preface her request with this person that she usually doesn't even know with, no one ever RPs with me. You're such an awesome character. Man, I wish he would pick on my tune because that would be just amazing.
It would be bee's knees.
And so they do it because they're trying to make this poor, lonely person have some RP with no real thought about what's about to occur.
Or knowledge that they're being utterly manipulated.
Right. They're being manipulated. And then when it finally comes out, I would say at least 50% of the time, they'll still defend the person.
Mm-hmm. That story that I told earlier about with the Spectre Cartel and the person rewriting history, what I didn't include in that one was that the person that came up with all of that actually used a proxy person in order to start running the events and fulfilling it, thereby letting that one take the fall when the shit hit the fan and they realized what was going on, and the person that actually planned it got just kind of slipped by and barely a slap on the hand.
Right.
And then eventually ended up sort of slinking off on their own, but it damaged the reputation of a completely different person who is just basically just dumb enough to
fall for it. And that's a big flag for me when I'm dealing with this. When I see RP that happens kind of out of the blue, that's out of character for the character that's playing it, that always tells me, one, they're being way too gullible, and two, that there's somebody who's going, oh, no one loves me, no one RPs with me, I'm so lonely. Could you kidnap me? That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
And they do it. And it's just, it got so bad in Silver Circle where we actually had it in the guild message. There is to be no kidnapping or kid snacking.
Kid snacking.
There we go.
No, we did the kid snacking. That was okay. Anyway, we were a very dirt guild. But we put in the message for the guild, there would be no kidnapping, no attack RP, no out of the blue, someone just, shoots you with an arrow. None of that was going to take place for the next day till the next week, because I was burned out on it and it needed to not happen.
Yeah. And everyone was tired of constantly going. It was fun for the first 50 times, but after about 150 and so, it starts to get old.
And
remember, you got serious pushback from the amulets, and then the guild saying the amulets will tell you exactly where you are, or else where exactly you are. And people had a big problem with that because they wanted to be kidnapped. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
This is the reason why that has to be that way, because we're tired of rescuing your.
We really had to make the amulets almost god modding to stop that nonsense, because we were like, look. But then eventually I just had it, and I was like, nothing else worked. I said, the amulets are not going to come save you anymore unless you are literally dying, and then it will simply teleport you into the clinic, and an NPC will definitely save your life. Not having this conversation. I'm done. And it was necessary for us to do. And then when that didn't work, I started punishing people for being kidnapped. Punishing them. And they were really upset by that. But I finally had Vodka. She was like, here's the deal. You are supposed to be this uber monster person with all of this strength and roar, and you're getting kidnapped every other freaking week. You're either the stupidest person that has ever walked the planet of Norath, or you're the weakest, and I don't know why you're even here.
Oof.
So I made it IC. It was really bad, and Vodka was like, how can you claim to be able to protect me
Right.
and be my mercenaries who are here in my army when you can't keep yourself from being kidnapped constantly.
I did
No,
enjoy
we're
when
done.
she went on a tear and her tune started laying down the law and death,
Oh yeah,
fire.
Baka just lost it.
I'm
She
a
was just like,
1,000-year-old
"That's it."
vampire. Somebody come please rescue me, please.
I know.
I've been
I am
kidnapped by hunters. Somebody, please. They've tied me up with cloves of garlic,
It's a proper hoodwinking.
sewn into cuffs. Please, please.
Next thing I know, I was surrounded by silver, and
Yes.
you know I can't abide that.
No. And there was this thing like a sun. It was like a flashlight sun. I don't know.
Was
Please,
a special. You're thinking
please.
of that person that was being held captive by a torch that had been magically imbued with sunlight.
I was making that up. Actually,
Oh, you
I
were-
was not even aware of that. I was thinking of the most
It was all made up.
ridiculous.
It was made up.
I was thinking of the most ridiculous things I could come up with off the
No,
top
no,
of
no.
my head.
I remember you logged out. You just left when
See,
that
I blocked
happened.
it. I don't even remember that. I thought
I thought
making
so hard.
making rope out of cloves of garlic was ridiculous enough. I didn't think I could get into something that actually had happened.
Nope, they were being held captive by a torch that had been imbued with sunlight.
Oh my god. So, positive green flags, because at this point I need something, otherwise I'm going to start talking about death, dye my hair black, and start wearing eyeshadow and black fingernails.
Yes.
And after this, I may be going to Hot Topic tomorrow.
Well, I already ordered stuff offline, so I got you beat.
We're gonna go get Ashen some skinny Hot Topic jeans.
I also got Joe Collar.
Ooh.
I don't think they make skinny jeans in my size, because they would no longer be called skinny jeans. They're just called jeans. Although
I said something completely inappropriate the other day to one of my friends who's about the same size as me, and it was right along those lines, and she's still mad at me. So,
Oh.
sorry.
Jazzy, tell it like it is.
She said, "I'm going to go buy skinny jeans." I'm like, "For who?"
Oh.
She went, "For me." I said, I don't think those are called skinny jeans, baby. Sorry.
Yeah. It's more like when you put that on, it's really more like an overstuffed sausage.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
no.
You ever? It's like it's like if a sausage had a muffin top.
Oh
Was
my
it-
gosh.
Ashen, was it you that showed me that picture of those jeans that were just like
That was it. It was literally just the belt, and there was like
no, it was the waistband,
the waistband.
and the seams down the
seams down
side,
the side.
and the
I saw
pockets.
that.
It
Yes.
was like what? And they were selling them in a store.
It
I was like,
Yes.
$70.
I know. I saw those.
Who
Those were
wears
hilarious.
that?
Apparently, somebody who thinks it's fashionable. I hope they have clean underwear.
Not once they sit down. But anyway, so green flags.
Oh god.
Somebody that asks permission for things. OOC gives heads up.
Oh my
Much.
god, I love that. Yeah, that's like my favorite thing in the whole world.
That's always a good sign, especially when you just met them.
Yes,
Or if you're Kishmas, you've been married to them for over a year,
there you go.
and he still does it, like a gentleman,
Mhm.
like a proper
Because-
gentleman.
Yes, I am a gentleman.
He's a gentleman.
Man, I'm a man, Jazz.
Manly man.
Really spoken as recruits, just saying.
You're a man, huh?
Yes.
So
Kish, you're 22. Don't stand for that crap.
yeah, take that.
I bought my first razor.
Oh no.
And that's when Kishmas learned manscaping.
oh my
please.
gosh!
Oh please. Oh please.
Wait a minute.
Two different razors, by the way. Use two different razors for that.
Yeah, it's great. You say, don't you have a beard?
Maybe
Then why are you buying razors
for other things.
if you're not?
Listen,
manscaping?
He's
I will not.
manscaping.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm listening. I'm still listening.
Did we not just have this conversation in our other channel about this and using Nair versus using?
Yes.
Bro,
Listen,
don't let these women
Don't-
pick on you, bro. You know what's up.
You are a strong, semi-muscular man, Kishmas. You don't have to take this.
Right.
I'm gonna beard slap you.
Careful, I might like that.
Oh my god. My mind is in the
So-
gutter. I gotta quit hanging out with you guys. I was gonna say, what beard?
Green
Oh.
flag number 2.
Speaking of red flags,
Greets people that log in and out of guild. Yes, that's
and are
nice.
friendly. Yeah, it's a simple, stupid thing that you would think is not a big deal, but you'd be surprised. I've been in a lot of guilds where like people can log in, and I get it. ESO is a little different because unless they're friended, you don't fucking know who's logging in and out, which is stupid.
Yeah, it is.
But a lot of games, it tells you, and it's cool. Like, I mean, given you're not going to be able to say it every time. If you're in the middle of a fight, you're in the middle of a fight, but just being friendly as a guild and stuff like that, as an individual, like saying hi to people or like, hey, good night, it doesn't take, it's not that hard to type enter, H-I, enter.
I'm pretty guilty of this one, man.
Yes, you are.
See,
I'm too used to lurking in like a Romulan and being unseen, and now I don't really say bye when I go.
I always try
I
to
used
send
to.
a tell and say thank you for the RP. I really think that people like to hear that.
They
Yes.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the RP and tells, or even like a tell that you like, hey, that was fun. Thanks.
Most time I'll get with people on Discord and be like, hey guys, it was fun. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah.
But in game, I'm bad about not doing it.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing with Discord. It's a little, a lot of times, especially if it's like a guild Discord, I don't know. I'd still say that counts,
Yeah, that
Personally,
counts.
I'd say that counts. Because, I mean, I do the same thing. Like, sometimes I'm just like, I'm logging in or logging off and I'm so fucking tired. I'm like, shit, I forgot to say something. So I'll just say it in Discord now. But like, night, everybody.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to say something.
And Strafe has gotten 3,000% better than he used to. So I'm happy.
I will say that the saying hello when people log in and out is one of my biggest pet peeves. I try to say it even if I don't know you in the guild. I'm going to be like, hello.
Yeah.
I wish it would announce when people log in. Because
Yeah, that is
there's
one thing
no
in
way
this-
to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game drives me nuts because if I'm not your friend,
Unless
I don't know.
somebody else says it, and then you're like, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, hey, but yeah.
Yeah,
Most
unless
games,
you're
it's not a
watching, you
problem.
can't tell. Like in EQ, every time somebody logged in, you would get a notation.
Guild
that
member
said
logged in.
Someone in guild. Right.
Yeah.
So you could say hi or whatever. If somebody leveled up, it notified us. And so we'd say, hey,
It made a
congrats.
noise. It made a little
It even
noise
made a
too.
little-
Yeah.
Yeah, that you could turn
Yep.
off and on.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that was handy because people like to know that people care about their
They
characters.
actually give
care
a shit
about
that they
them.
showed up. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
and
basic
that's
human
really
consideration.
important. It's just really important. And I think that
And it's
everybody
good for
needs to
guild
do that
cohesion
more.
as well. It also
does.
it's a green flag. That's a green flag for both individuals that say it and the guild as a whole.
Yes.
Really.
Well, I'll try to get better, y'all.
As I said at the start, it wasn't criticism on the if you have one of these, or apparently on the green flags, a lack of.
No, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff to
It
do.
is good, yeah. Well, and of course, when nobody says when nobody says it, I guess everybody's guilty of that. So it wouldn't just be one person. So there's
Yeah.
that.
No.
The other one is constructive criticism of the role play, especially when somebody asks for it.
Yeah, I think that it's important to wait until they ask
Mm-hmm.
because
Or-
if you don't, then they're going to take it as
Yeah, the only
Negative.
thing is if it's so egregious, like like I had with in EverQuest 2 with the shattering and the rending. I would let people know when they got it backwards, just because it was. I was like, I know this is super easy to get backwards, but but this one was 15 years ago. This one was 150 years ago. That's what you wanted, and they're like, oh crap, thanks. It didn't happen often, but it's But when it came to their character, yeah, I'd wait. I wait till they ask, and I let them know, like, hey, if you ever need help with lore, that's the other one. Helpful shares lore knowledge.
yeah.
If you know
Especially when
stuff
someone
about it,
asks about, why is this or why is that?
yeah,
really
or just
important.
offer, like we've seen people, Kishbis, Nathala, and several other people in like servants. They're like, hey, we basically know everything because they really know the lore. They're like, if you need help, anybody just hit me up. Super cool. That's all you need, Let's
True.
see here. talks in whispers and not in the parentheses, like out in the open parentheses thing, like say or something, during RP so as not to interrupt the ongoing RP when they have questions.
And sometimes you can't not. But
sometimes the phone rings. You just gotta tell folks. If you go
Well,
silent.
yeah. Well, I mean, doing like quick AFK phone call is one thing, but like if you're in the middle of something, you're like, did you mean it this way or this way? I don't understand what you're saying. You know,
or you cruise into the RP and
true.
say in brackets, you say, so can somebody fill me in on what's going on in spatial?
Yeah, and then everybody's like, blah, 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 you know, and then it deadlock interrupts the entire RP going on.
Right.
Yeah. No, that one makes sense.
I think it's really plus also if you're in the middle of like RP, like in Riften, for example, and somebody's being obnoxious, send them a towel. Don't, for the love of God, start an argument with them in spatial because it just clogs what is already a busy place. But when people do that, when they'll send me a tell and say, you said this, I think you meant this, and I'll be like, you're right, I did. I'm new to the lore. Thank you. I didn't know that. And then I will correct it with a asterisk, in say, so that people know that I needed to change something. But getting that tell also doesn't embarrass me because I made a mistake.
Right.
And
it's just a simple it's a simple
helps.
courtcy.
Yeah.
It's
so when
just being
someone does that,
courteous.
I always put a little check mark above their name to remember that they're really nice.
Yeah. They're like, hey, thanks for, pointing out my fuck up. But, privately.
Like calling one night, and don't ask me why, I called Khajiit Kara for a good 45 minutes.
Oh, because
that's what they were in EQ2.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I was just typing it, and I don't know why I didn't see it. But anyway,
I say it all the time with Ixar and Argonians getting them mixed up.
Yes.
So.
And this person sent me a tell and said, I think you're in EQ tonight. And I went, what? Because I didn't know what they were talking about. And she was like, you've called the Khajiit Kara twice in the last 2 minutes that I've been here. And I scrolled up, and I had been doing it for over an hour.
And nobody had either
nobody said, what? What's a Kara? They either
they may not have even known.
Right. So it was funny because she was from EQ 1, not 2, and knew that Kara was what I meant.
Right.
I meant Khajiit. She knew what Kara were. And I was like, oh, thanks.
Rufus will take offense at this.
What's that?
This one will take offense at this in honor of Rufus.
That's right.
Yes. Thank you.
Talks OOC about anything other than RP and guild chat, or otherwise when a stressful RP, negative RP is underway, which proves that they are totally cool and not upset in the slightest.
Yes.
Yes.
This was something that I had all my Silver Circle, and it changed the way that we didn't have hardly as much drama. Like even Ashen here was like, that's not going to work. And it really did. It really helped because people were because we were a very negative guild. It was a very intense, dark RP. And to have you jabbering in guild chat about nothing, really, just acting normal,
right.
bullshitting in our OOC channel, really helped people understand that Xanis, who's over here screaming at someone and calling them an idiot, or when he was shaving Nylok's head, remember that? Forcibly?
Yeah.
But in guild chat, he's just chattering away. And so it really helped. And so when I'm in guild chat and we're having an intense RP moment, and then I have people yammering either in Discord or in the actual guild chat, it helps. It helps me be assured that they're not taking it personally. It helps other people that are watching. And so when I see that, it's always a big green flag.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, this actually happened just this week, and there was some intense stuff going on, and then it was like, let's make sure everyone knows where it's all in good fun. So we started joking and laughing in the guild chat, and she's like, that really seemed to have helped. It's like, it's almost like that was planned.
Making Monty Python jokes.
That was it. Yeah, it was Monty Python quotes and stuff like that.
It was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and it really helps to diffuse the situation when it's really intense RP, because it is easy to take it personally when insults are flying.
Right,
and
because sometimes you
there's
don't
all
know
this.
if they're mixing a little bit, and like that's
Right,
where some
maybe
of it's
they're
come
mixing.
from. Right,
Maybe they're having a hard time. So if they post something then that's completely casual, unless they're psychotic, it's probably a good, sign that they're not taking.
no.
There is that caveat, however.
That's true. There is that, yeah.
Still,
there is that. But no, that's, and those, it just, I mean, the green flags, it's a lot harder to come up with because basically it's just human decency, like in common sense. So it's a lot harder to come up with those. I know we've said before, being negative is a lot easier than being positive, and it's really a natural state for all of us at this point.
But also green flags are, like you said, they're human decency, and they're easy to point out.
Mhm.
Whereas the negative stuff
There's
is a lot
of
more involved.
specifics too, yeah. Yeah,
Well,
just somebody...
I think from summarizing all the green flags, to me, it's just common sense.
It is.
I mean,
it really is.
If you don't have any of those green flags, you really shouldn't be, you shouldn't be around me because I'd hate you.
But and it's just it is basic. It's and some of it's a little bit learned, like just knowing how to role play and the rules and sets of role play and stuff like that. You can kind of learn, like maybe you learn that like sending whispers and tells is probably a little better than calling someone out on the carpet and everything else. But once you learn that and you continue to still do it, and I've done the opposite. I've in a moment of like, what the hell, done stuff like that. But it's just what it is. You gotta take a moment and catch your breath and be like, okay, well, sorry about that, and I've typically, if I fall out of line, I'll apologize it later. Maybe that's another good green flag. If they do fuck up, they apologize for it after the fact.
Yes. And that is something that I've found, even though it's hard for me because I hate to be wrong. And you guys might have cued in on that. I hate to be wrong. Hate it.
No.
But
no.
yeah.
Not
but
a big
when
fan
I
myself.
when I am, I work really hard as a guild leader to step. Like last night, we had a little bit of drama. Not much. It was just a misunderstanding. But somebody challenged me on something that I had said, and I called in the people who would have known what happened and said, okay, did I misrepresent here? What's going on? Because I could swear X, Y, and Z, and if I'm wrong, I need to know. And they all were, the consensus was that nobody said that I see. So I was completely wrong. So then I ate my sword and, was like, okay, apparently I'm screwed the pooch.
Apparently I'm not infallible, but don't forget that I am.
Yeah, so I apologized, and we retconned the last couple minutes, and we reset it, and it went smoothly. And they were very pleased that I was willing to admit that I had screwed up and apologize.
Yeah, it's in apologies, just be sincere about it. I hate making mistakes in my job, in my role play, just in general. I do not like to be wrong. Most people, it turns out, don't. It's very few people are like, oh man, I was way wrong about that. Ha,
cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
know. Now, don't get me wrong. There are things I would like to be wrong about, but I'm not often. But that's a little bit different. But if you do make a mistake and you do the opposite of a green flag or your red flag on something, and it was a moment of passion. It was a moment of, you lost your head.
Love passion.
Did you
Go
just
on.
say I love passion?
Yes.
I do too.
I love that
I
fruit.
love romance.
Oh.
I like the romance.
Romance is good.
And yet she's still married to me.
Hey.
Ow!
Dang,
you need to work
man.
on that self-deprecation. Jeez.
What was that, Jazz?
Jazzy, he likes the couch. Leave him alone.
Okay.
Self-deprecating humor.
Thank you. My brain melted there briefly.
No, she knows I love her.
What?
See?
What?
All right. Well, with that, I think we've gone over enough. We're already late for something that we wanted to all do tonight, I think.
Yes, we are.
If most of you aren't already probably in the middle of doing it anyway.
What?
Yeah, surprise me. Oh, look,
I'm not gonna say.
Look at that
I-
in Discord. It says both Jazz and Sib are right now in Elder Scrolls Online. Huh.
Hey, I'm just gonna say. Okay, I'm just gonna say we're not alone because there's somebody else in this
I
group.
imagine there's a share. Yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware. I know what multitasking means.
Listen. I promised someone that I would do this tonight.
Yes, I know, and I appreciate you guys still being here and giving the attention to
Hey,
the show
I
that you
will
did
say-
at least the 15% that you did.
Hey, I will say it is role playing. We're role playing,
And that's why
okay?
I say that we have a solid 15 minutes of content crammed into 2 hours and 20 minutes worth of show.
There you go.
Because half of us aren't even here either. So, with that, I appreciate everybody joining us here at twitch.tv/RPMMO Radio, which you can too if you're listening on the podcast, like I said earlier, 7 Central every Saturday. We'll always be here. Next week, I think we actually have the Human Floyd, for those that remember him from back in episode 10.
Nice.
We'll be talking spirituality in roleplay. It should be an interesting conversation. So, with that, hit a like, hit subscribe if you want to join us on our Patreon, patreon.com/RPMMO Radio. And tune in next time when we talk Halfling players. Every single one of them, Wakachoto, I'm looking at you, automatically red flagged and never green. Next time on RPMMO Radio. Good night, everybody.
Night, everyone.
The thoughts and opinions of those on RPM Radio and their crew are just that and should not be taken as the gospel truth, but pretty close to it. Music, as always, is provided by Husky by the Geek. Visit him at youtube.com/HuskyByTheGeek to hear all his great rock covers of gaming music and original sounds.